Tractor Tour Part 2, the Whites. White bought Oliver Corporation in 1960. They also swallowed up Cockshot in 1962 and Minneapolis Molina in 1963. Through the 60s, those tractor companies still kind of operated independently and put out their own line. And then in 1969, they all merged together. And then by the mid-70s, it was 75 or 76, White came out with their line of tractors and did away with the others, except for maybe a few oddball, rebranded ones, put out a red one, put out a green one, or gold, to honor the companies that got taken over. First up is a 1978 285 White. That designation, the 285, the first number 2 means whether it's a 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive, and then the 85 is its rated PTO horsepower. This is referred to as a Series 1 or a silver stripe. Some of the earliest ones on the run. These were made from 1976 through 1982, and in 1982, brand new, it would have cost $31,000. It has a 354 cubic inch Perkins, or 5.8 liter, naturally aspirated, non-turbo. Would have been similar to the motor they put in the 1850 Oliver. This tractor gets used has done a lot of round baling the last few years. Keeps you out of the dust. Did quite a bit of square baling with it. Any kind of lighter work where it's nicer to have a cab. Maybe some stock chopping. Stays hooked to the hammer mill all winter too. The controls are very similar to a 55 series Oliver. Towards the end there in the mid-70s, you've got like the double H shift pattern, 6 forward speeds, 2 reverse. You got your shift on the fly. You're over under direct. Direct is straight through. Under it underdrives it, and it'll freewheel, and then over is, I can't remember the ratio, but it'll overdrive the gear, essentially giving you 18 forward speeds and 4 reverse. This is that Series 1s, as I mentioned. So it doesn't have any of the digital gauges, analog, and the shifters, the remote control, and the PTO and everything. It's kind of down on the seat, out of reach a little bit. These cabs come with heat. This one didn't have air conditioning. The other two do. Needs a little touch-ups, but it's not in bad shape. Well, this one too, we used it for corn picking. It was in corn picking video from last year. Ship those on the fly, under load or empty. Next up, a 1982 2110. This was the next model after the 2105, which is actually what this replaced. And the 2105 replaced the 1755 back in the early 80s to mid 80s. You'll notice the badging on this is different. It says WFE on it instead of white. So this is referred to as a Series 2, I believe, or a red stripe. The reason that it was kind of rebranded was in the end of 1980, White had filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and then an investment group out of Texas called TIC had come in and bought them. and they had resumed farm equipment production in 1981 as White Farm Equipment, hence the different badge there. This tractor was made from 1982 to 1987. It was $43,000 brand new in 1987. This has the same plant as the 285. Maybe there's some differences, but it's the same 354 cubic inch, 5.8 liter Perkins. And this is rated at 25 horsepower higher. Reason being, this is a turbo. Obviously there's some changes with the fueling and stuff, but otherwise this block should look quite familiar. All that stuff is on there. Only you got a turbo hiding under here where the other one doesn't. This tractor pretty much keeps the duals on year round. We took them off this summer and did some baling with it. But this hauls manure all winter. Keep them on for flotation. Yeah, used to do some light tillage. Just does whatever needs to be done. This needs a cab kit. That's in regular service all the time. So this is what I believe is considered a Series 2 dash. And there's a Series 3 that has digital gauges and stuff, but this starts to have the different light setup. And the biggest thing for an operator's perspective is having this raised control platform. So your shifter, rather than being in the middle there, everything's moved over to where your arm can hang off the armrest. Your over-under direct is moved. You can reach it a little easier, you don't have to reach down. The shifter's up here, handbrake. Makes it a little easier, you don't have to reach as far to hit the controls. This is an AC cab. The air did work at one time, but it's not recharged. The other thing you'll notice on a Series 2 is that the tub is gray. We're on the Series 1, they're black. I'm not an expert on the different changes, but somebody who knows a lot more than me. Just a few little things to notice or read about. Power shift. Get a little greasy out here. Last up, a 135. Two-wheel drive, 135 PTO horse. This is a 1978 Series 1 silver stripe. They made these from 1976 all the way to 1987 with 3 different series of them. Quite a popular tractor, had a really long run. This tractor came here about 1984. The story with this one was the biggest tractor up until that point was an 1855 Oliver, and that had that notorious 310 cubic inch Waukesha that was prone to failure. A lot of them had real bad luck with them. Well, we happened to be one of them that had one go down. My grandpa was running it, you know, for about 10-15 minutes. I think he's field cultivating or disking, and it just, the oil pressure got low, and just like that, boom. It didn't window the block like a lot of them do. It just stuck. So I know they made a lot of improvements after that first run of them. So the 1855 Oliver got sold for parts or scrap. Somebody took it to repower it or whatever he did with it. And then this was picked up as a bank repossession. So this was in the early 80s, so it was probably a victim of the farm crisis. And this one got repossessed and had low hours on it and got a pretty good deal on it. This has the 478 cubic inch Hercules in it, 7.8 liter turbo diesel. similar power plant. I mean, there's small revisions, the same thing that goes in the 2155. Respectively, the 285, the 2110, and the 2135 are all 25 horsepower apiece, but this does not feel like it. This has quite a bit more significant grunt than the other ones. So this tractor, I don't even know the last time it was put on PTO work. Pretty much does all the tillage around here. A couple videos ago, you can see it primarily. The plow tractor pulls the 5-bottom moldboard. That's why there's one dual off yet. Does the disking. Does pretty much any of the pulling work because we don't need anything bigger. Cab in this one, similar to the other ones. It's kind of got a homemade cab kit, carpeting on the ceiling. Works pretty good. Got a little bit of a seat upgrade. I'm not sure where Dad got that seat from. Might have been out of a piece of heavy equipment, so it's kind of a homemade air ride. So that makes it nicer. It's not bad. You can see that this is, I guess, considered a Series 1, but it does have a shifter in a different location. Somebody that knows more about what rear ends carried over from Oliver and what ones were made from other ones could chime in. Same thing, 6 forward gears, over under direct, 3-speed power shift. Kind of got the primitive dash, just the idiot lights and analog gauges. It's got 3,831 hours. Motor hasn't been touched or overhauled. AC cab, radio. A little chilly out today. The Perkins, they have the cab pumps that are vertical, kind of a dead giveaway.